my movie song.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
We live?
We live.
We live, baby.
We live today. All right, let's get that banner going across the screen right there. Well, tonight's show's about to be a doozy. I've been having a whole lot of doozy-ish. I just made that word up. Don't go into public and using it. Topics as of lately, and well, today's gonna be no different. So, without further ado, you ready to get this clip playing?
Let's get it. Let me get this sending out the clip.
One of the biggest differences between men and women, and I think both sexes tend to have some difficulty accepting this, is that when it comes to women, we're more concerned with their past. Whereas with men, women are more concerned with our futures. In fact, in some cases, it's almost desirable for women to know that men have had some experience and they understand the dynamics between men and women. On the other hand, though, they're more concerned with men's futures. What is your ability to provision and provide in the future? You know, are you a competent guy that can get stuff done? Or are you the type that, you know, when difficulties enter your life, you quit, you sulk, you complain, and you whine about it? Women want to know that they're with a strong guy that, again, can make it rain, that can get things done, that can solve problems, that has competency skills. All women have somewhat of a peppered past. Some it's worse than others. Somebody sent me this link. They tagged me in this link on Instagram the other day, and it was an interview with, the only way to describe it is quite possibly the most thoughty looking chick you've ever seen, with her girlfriend in an interview talking about the 7 guys that she performed oral on, one after the other, and you know, thought that she had some value. You know, she basically sold herself like, oh, but I didn't sleep with them all. Even though they all ran a train on her face, she thinks that she's got, you know, some value because she didn't sleep with them. Women aren't going to walk around telling guys about their peppered past. It exists for many of them. This one was dumb for actually documenting it, because at some point it's going to come back to bite her in the ass. Men and women are identical. We're not. We're quite different. And men, on the other hand, are concerned about a woman's past. And as you should be. Most of you guys out there want to get into some kind of long-term relationship with a woman, or want to have more positive interactions with women. And some of you guys still make an incredibly bad choice, allowing or inviting problem women with problem pasts into your life. She's been around the block. She belongs to the streets. You know, she's going to have difficulty committing to you on a long-term basis. There's been plenty of studies done around this, and men with a lot of experience versus women with a lot of, you know, intimate experience out there are two different stories. Men should be more concerned about her past if they're evaluating her for a future, if they're thinking about inviting that woman into their life on a more intimate basis.
All right. What do y'all think?
I'll let Twan go, and then I'll go, or whichever
No,
way you
no,
want to
go. I'm still like kind of processing it a little bit. What?
All right, so let me start with a question then. Maybe that might be easier. Let's start with the original question. Does a woman's past outweighs a man's past? Yes, no, and why?
Outweighs a man's past.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't even think, honestly, does a woman's past outweigh a man's past? I think they both weigh the same. Just depends on what we're judging and how we're guiding it off of. Because to me, okay.
Well, we're talking about past behaviors,
like sexual encounters, because a lot of times when it becomes like the stuff that dudes be saying about women in their past, it's an ego thing. Like, for me, what you did in your past, it only matters if it's like a life or death type of situation, like you caused harm to somebody else, or you did something to physically put yourself in a position to where you can potentially cause harm to me in the future. That's what matters. But a lot of the stuff, it's not like it's an ego thing. It only matters to their ego. Like, oh, if she messed with, like the dude said, her giving head to these guys, like, why does that, to me, if it's not going to affect me, what you did in high school, what you did in college, like at what age does the past not matter? At what spot? Like if it was 2 years ago, as long as it was between 2 years ago, then it matters. But what happens if it was 15 years ago, if it was 20 years ago? When does it not matter anymore? So to me, the past really don't matter. A woman's past don't matter to me unless there's going to be a potential risk of me being harmed or my family being harmed along the line. But outside of that, it really don't matter to me.
Twan?
I mean, it depends on how past. It depends on how close the past is for us. For me, you know what I'm saying. If it's some recent shit, like far as if it's like effective, like far as it's gonna affect me or whatever, yeah, it's a problem. But everybody got a past, you know what I mean? So her past wouldn't matter too much, but just inform me. But if you a type of person that, you know what I mean, like you just been out there just been slutting out or whatever, yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even deal with you. You know what I mean? So it's a it's it's a it's somewhat matter and somewhat it don't. It depends on the situation.
Doesn't matter. Depends on the situation. For me, it it matters if she's blaming,
Right.
if she's not holding herself accountable, right, for her
Right.
past behavior. If
Right.
she's
Right.
blaming somebody else, if I was a dude, I wouldn't mess with her because that means that it hasn't learned anything. She's not learning anything, and anything that goes awry in our relationship, she's gonna blame me for it. Another thing I know about a woman's past is her judgment behavior. I mean, her judgment pattern. If she lacks sexual temperance, it's a problem. Her past says behaviors and consequences. So a woman who has four children by four different dudes, but yet want like the top 10%, yeah, her past should matter. It should matter to her. Because if it mattered to her, then she wouldn't set herself up for disappointment trying to go after him, who is a man who has more options that are way better than her. You understand what I'm saying? So I really do
Right.
believe a woman's past matters for what she wants. You understand? It all depends on what she's asking for from the man that she wants, because she has to be the one who he wants back. Most people don't believe that past should matter, which also says that it doesn't matter what I do, I should always have an equal outcome. So those who are working their asses off, getting to where they want to get to, I should be able to sleep around all day and still have and reap their results. I think that when we disregard a woman's past, we do so with disregard to the man and his thoughts of his future. I don't think it's an ego thing. I think it's proper planning, because we have divorces happening more than we have marriages being intact. And when the divorce happens, he has to pay out. So her past behaviors will definitely reflect her current conditioning in her mindset, especially if she doesn't hold herself accountable, especially if she believes that she should have equal outcomes despite what her behavior patterns were, because, well, I'm beyond consequences. I don't think anybody should be beyond consequences. It's called cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like a thing that just unfolds within the universe. So I think it's more damaging for a woman to hear, "Oh, my past don't matter. My past don't matter." Because they're going to continue the act and thinking, well, I'm not going to start dating until like another 3 years, so I can just continue to act up. And then when the third year hit, I'm going to straighten up, and the man that I desire is going to want me back. No, the hell he won't.
Mm-hmm.
We are lying to women, and I think we are keeping women single. It's bullcrap. Men are concerned with their future. Women are concerned with a man's future. So if a man's future matters, why shouldn't the woman's past matter? I don't understand it. Because we're all wanting what we desire.
Right.
We don't operate the same. Men and women are innately different, and it's like we are trying to make everyone the same.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the same. We don't process the world the same. We don't even process sex the same.
Mm-hmm.
To
So
me,
this idea that men can be loose and women can be loose, and the woman who reserved herself had wasted her time because the loose chick should have the equal outcome that the one who did it the correct way or this way. It's ridiculous. It's y'all keeping motherfuckers single, but they won't listen to y'all fools. Go ahead. So let me ask this question now.
women. To me, honesty and loyalty means more to me than anything. You know what I'm saying? If you can have that part and you real about everything, you ain't gotta lie about it, and you can be honest and real about shit, we can go a long way as far as what that would be. You know what I mean? Because it's really hard to find someone that's like that and that's on that type of level. You know what I mean? Everybody, some people, nah, I ain't gonna say everybody, some people you run across that they got a gift of gab with them. Yeah, I mean, they got some bullshit. You know what I mean? They feel as though they can get one over on you. They can play with your intelligence and shit like that. You know what I mean? But if you can find one that's on that same level, you know what I mean, that can be honest, keep it honest with you and keep it real with you, that shit can go a long way with you and her. You know what I mean? And the past, some of that, I mean, like I said, depends on what type of past it is. That shit wouldn't even matter. You know what I mean? Because uh, you can tell a motherfucker like, yo, my peoples keep that shit real with me. My people, you know what I mean? I ain't got to really worry about shit. We talks about everything. You know what I mean? We have the conversation. We know how to sit down and have that conversation if it's a real problem or something. If there's something really going on. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? If you can really like, yeah, I mean, like that's the main three things that I think any man wouldn't mind really what like having. You know what I mean? It's the honesty. Yeah, I mean, and the honesty without lying and coming having a conversation where as though y'all can have a conversation without yelling, screaming back and forth and all that. Whereas though she can get what she got to get out, and you can basically understand where she's coming from, and she understand where you coming from, and stuff like that. All that stuff there, I believe that stuff there can go a long way for us dealing with a man. You know what I mean? But if you got some shit with you and all that, and then you got a man got to sit up there and not necessarily physically beat it out you, but gotta literally beat it out you to get what's this and that. That's a that's a whole problem. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that to me, that's the main three things in my book. I think that can go a long way dealing with a woman. You know what I
I
mean?
think.
Go no, go ahead on.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say I think the key with that is a lot of times people say they want the honest truth. They want you to be honest with them. And then when you're actually honest with them, the energy, how they treat you switches up. So I think a lot of times the honesty is predicated based on how safe this person can be in showing you who they really are and allowing you to accept them versus you having this preconceived idea of who you want this person to be. And then if they show you that they're not the person that you wanted them to be, then your engagement, your interaction with them switch. So I think a lot of times, like, people only lie when they feel unsafe. But a lot of times, relationship dynamic, people don't feel safe in these dynamics. That's why they lie. That's why they're not always honest. Everybody wants people to be honest with them. But when you're honest with them, are you okay with still interacting and treating them the same way, or will you?
Why do they have to be okay with that? I mean, the purpose of me wanting you to be honest with me is so that I can choose to decide for myself if you are a character I want to be involved with.
But yeah, I get that by all means. That's what you want, but it's still the same way for the other person. If it's a selfless decision for me to be honest with you because I'm choosing to be honest with you, and you're going to make a decision based on your feelings. So it's the same thing. If I don't tell you the truth, am I not telling you the truth because of you, or is it a choice that I'm making for me?
For you.
And that's all it is. So it's
I see what you're saying.
We want people to be honest. But then in me being honest, that's a selfless act because I'm letting you into what I'm experiencing just for you to turn around and be like, oh, I'm using your honesty. I appreciate your honesty, but I'm going to judge you for it. I'm going to make you wrong for it.
It's not judging. That's that guilt thing. It's like, oh, I was honest with you. I told you about all the kittens that I hung up in a tree. Hold on, Twan.
Let him finish, though.
No, hold on, Twan. Because it has to make sense. If it's not making sense, I'm not going to follow.
But
if I'm not going to follow, there's no need for me to listen.
It's all right.
You got to let him finish, though. You got to let him finish, though, Trinity. The same way if you was saying something, you want him to let you finish. So let him finish. And maybe you might get a better understanding of what he's saying.
Yeah, the judgment aspect of where I was coming from is when you were saying then they can choose to decide whether or not they want to interact with you or not. I get it. What I'm saying, the judgment is almost like making them wrong for being a certain way, and then you're treating them differently after them telling you that. That's all I was saying. That's where the disconnect. Now, you killed 100 cats, and now I'm like, oh, I don't want to bring my cats around you. And
I said 10 cats, but that's beside the point.
Now
I knew where he was going. It doesn't matter. My thing still stands. That is that
now you break down how
that...
you feel about it.
So now you're interrupting me?
No, what I'm saying is.
He's delegating.
What I'm saying is I'm the enforcer. You know what I mean? You wasn't allowing him to finish breaking it down and finish saying what he was saying before you.
So after I allowed him to break it down and I started talking, you're going to interrupt me to tell me that I shouldn't interrupt him, that I should let him talk. That makes no sense. You're doing exactly what I did.
You're not listening.
You're not enforcing. Now you're like, you're doing some other stuff.
On 100, calm down.
I was talking. You cut me off to tell me.
No, I didn't. You had cut him off when he was talking.
Dude, I was literally in the middle of a statement. Was I not in the middle of a statement, Najee, when he cut me off to tell me that I was wrong for cutting you off? He cuts me off to tell me. He cuts me off, not allowing me to finish, to tell you after I've done it.
First of all, when he was talking.
He cuts me off to tell me I should have let you finish when I already did it. I mean, like,
Trinity, when he was talking, first of all, when he was talking, I mean, you straight, like, you didn't agree with what he was saying, and then you cut in what he was saying. What I was saying is, let him finish what he was saying is, so we can get a better understanding of where he was coming from and how he was saying it. And then I was saying it was just now you go ahead and break it down what you didn't agree to what he was saying. That's all I was saying to you. I wasn't cutting you off. You want 100 today. Calm down.
Are you done?
See, you being smart now, and I'm not being smart. I'm being real about it right now.
Are you done?
See.
Thank you. So, like I was saying, that makes that can be
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before I say something smart, go ahead, Trinity. Before I say something smart, I'm about to say something smart.
It's cool. Don't say it's cool where your huggy juice. it's cool. It's all good. It's fine. I don't mind. I want to hear. I think Twan just wanted to hear me finish. He just wanted to hear it. So I get it. But we good now. We're good. Shoo. Woosah. Breathe. It's okay. Nah, they're not married.
No need for me to start. He gonna just interrupt me again. So
No,
just
he
let him
won't.
go.
He won't. That's the
Nah,
past.
I'm good.
We
Let him
leaving the
go.
past. We're not
All right,
gonna.
so the next question, forget about all that. The next question that I have now is this: would it be a thing of ego, or would it be future preparation planning, right? Because we have certain men that move in particular circles, right? They move in circles that are like white collar. They move in circles that are not like the average person. They may be average and above average, but they're not average people. So with some men, it's about image, and that makes sense because they are in a position of power. They may be in a position of authority. So they're definitely going to, I would think, pick and choose, unlike the average folk, because they are going to be finding themselves in places that, well, those individuals do not. So that woman's past would probably matter to him amongst his peers. Because if she's like a thought, like that chick that had the train ran on her face, you understand what I'm saying? And she recorded it. No man wants, and I mean, I'm not going to say no man. I know at least one man that don't mind, but I don't know many men who are okay knowing that his woman was just used for sexual gratification and she was okay with it. You understand? So, I mean, I don't think it would be his ego why he would choose not to be with her. I don't think it would be insecurity that would choose. It would just be smart. I mean, we have to move in society in somewhat accords to society. We can't think because, well, I think this way and I feel this way and I believe this way, I'm going to move against the grain and expect equal outcome. And that's my only issue. You know, to like what Twan said about if she was honest, I said that in the beginning. I said if she didn't blame and held herself accountable, then I can see that. But if she's just blaming, that just says to me she learned nothing. And that's just her pattern. She just blames. All right, so for that statement, right? Do you think I have to ask you differently, Najee. I can't ask you and Twan the same question because I already know your answer. Would you be in a relationship with a person who's known to be a sex worker? Like that's all she does. You know, that's her source of income. She's a sex worker. Would you be okay bringing her home knowing that maybe some of your boys saw her tapes? Maybe family members may have seen her at work. You know what I mean? Would you?
Yeah, I would. Because my biggest thing is my relationship to her. Everybody else seeing her, what they got, that has nothing to do with my relationship to her. I don't. It's one of those things where is you get to a, for me, I got to a certain point when I realized people are going to project no matter what. They might not ever see her, but they still have an idea of how they think she's supposed to behave according to themselves. Like people are going to judge, people are going to almost like create narratives about people. Like I can't change another person's perspective of you. I just know the relationship that we have. That's all that matters. That's why, like when it comes to, especially when it comes to sex, a lot of the times, especially when it comes with men, it's more of an ego thing, because at the end of the day, what difference does it make with her having sex with 100 men versus her having sex with 2 men? It's just based on how you'll feel about it, because energetically, it literally has nothing to do with you. It's her life and what she had going on. But it's one of those things where we try to make our lives or somebody else's life about us, and that's where the disconnect. So no, I wouldn't have no issue with it if she was a sex worker or not. I wouldn't.
I tried to ask you a question, not get that answer, and I still got that answer anyway.
Yeah, it won't. I don't judge. Like, I don't make people wrong for being. I understand why people's behavior is the way it is. So I'm not here to like, oh, you shouldn't behave that way. Because my biggest thing is, if I was in her shoes, I had her DNA, I grew up in the life that she did, I would make the same decision she did. Because I wouldn't be me, I would be her. And a lot of
Right,
times,
but does the world owe her understanding behind that, though?
no, they don't owe her anything. Yeah, no, the world don't owe her anything. That's what I was like. What you were saying, it's not one of those things where it's like I feel like I can have a past and you should accept me no matter what my past is. I wasn't saying that. Like a woman, like you're saying, a woman with 4 kids should feel like I can be able to talk to a guy who don't, or a top high value man, the 1% of guys, even with my 4 kids, like that shouldn't make a difference. But it's like it's context to everything. So it's understanding the type of value, the type of woman that he's into might not be what you got. So it's understanding that. I think the issue with today's society is we're too busy trying to get people to accept us that don't want to accept us. So it's just like if a guy don't want you to have 4 kids, don't try to be with a guy who don't want you to have 4 kids. Don't try to get accepted. Don't try to fit in. It's just one of those things where we're trying to almost like fit in and get approval from people that wouldn't necessarily approve of what we're doing.
I can see that. So your thing is, what someone does doesn't make them who they are today, and you are with the person today for who they are today.
Mm-hmm.
And however, if you know, this is the woman who's holding this knowing, if you know that you come with deal breakers, don't try to approach that man and force him to change his preferences to accept, well, you as a deal breaker.
Yeah. 100%.
Twan?
No comment.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna comment on anything?
I ain't got no comment to that.
Just to that. He said to that. Just to that. So, what do you think about that, Trinity?
Well, actually, I was going to ask him a different question. Remember I said that? I said I
Oh, yeah,
can't
you
ask
did.
you
You have
two
to
the
ask.
same questions. That's why I asked if he was going to, answer any more questions, because that wasn't the question for him.
Twan, you want to hear her question for you, or
What's the question?
So you mentioned that you wouldn't mind a woman's past, so as long as she was honest about it. Would that include a woman who went to college, got a degree, got a job, was making some money, but then decided to hell with all that? I want to start an OnlyFans page. So instead of continuing her career, she does OnlyFans, and she did it for 5 years, and she stopped doing it 6 months ago. Now, she was honest about it. She brought it up. She mentioned it to you. Would you be okay still being with her?
She ain't doing it no more, so I ain't got no problem with it.
Dang, I should have picked another video.
no? I think this is a great topic.
Because, I can't think of no questions, but go ahead. It's a great topic.
Yeah, it's a great topic because I think the biggest disconnect is it's guys trying to almost like tell women that their past matter based on the guys you wouldn't talk to those women. So why the women that you're of your caliber, like the women that you're into, don't have a past? So if the woman that you're into don't have a past, why are you telling women who have a past that their past matters?
Because I think maybe it might be a public service announcement, because he's hearing so many women saying my past don't matter, but there are guys out here that they want where their past does matter, and women have to know this. Maybe not the woman who has now become a deal breaker, but maybe the next generation. You know what I mean? The information has to come out. Just because he doesn't want to deal with a woman with a long history, right, a long past, just because he doesn't want to deal with that, it doesn't mean that he can't help other people know these things. Most of us, we were brought up in households that never taught us relationship skills, which is why so many of us are failing at relationships.
Big facts.
You understand what I'm saying? So if we're already failing at relationships and you have someone who has some information on relationships, then why would they not share it? Would he be better off keeping it to himself?
Yeah, I think if you understand, I think there's too many people projecting their own experiences onto other people's lives, and I think that's where the disconnect is because you might, again, it's the type of thing where it's like you see a woman that you're not into, but there might be a guy who's into that. It's like understanding, like it's not one side, and I think the biggest disconnect for me is guys get on these platforms and speak for men as a whole or speak for men as in general when it's like you can only speak for yourself. You can't speak, well, majority of but the majority of the people you know is a small, but you don't know majority of the men in the world. There's a group like there's a community, there's a swingers community. If you talk to swingers, majority of the people in the swingers community are into it. So it's just like you have to understand there's a majority to everything depending on what you're choosing to focus on. It's not a one size fit all men think this way, all men are this way. It's not that way, but guys get on these platforms. When men and women, it's like, no, you're not speaking for men, you're speaking for yourself because that's all you can speak for. And the majority of the people you're around, which is probably like 50 to 60 people, 70 people, even if you had 1,000 friends, that's still not majority of men.
Usually when it's those types of conversation, they're speaking about a particular category of people. The particular category of people share the same traits. They are they are doing the same behavior. So you can pretty much say all in those groups, and those who the people are speaking of. When we are talking about relationships and femininity and masculinity, no one is talking about swingers clubs, and no one is into that.
No,
the idea that go ahead.
You just said my point. You're speaking. That's what I was saying. In the swingers community, if you ask the majority of the men,
but we're not talking about swingers communities and what they want when we're talking and referring to a particular category of men. You let me ask you a question. Is it true or false that all men who are professional licensed doctors went to med school, or did some go to accounting school, never going to med school? In New York State, in America, America, is it true that all men who are doctors that are certified to practice, that are licensed to practice in hospitals, doctors' offices, private professions, is it safe to say all men went to med school that are doctors?
Yes.
Okay. Is it safe to say? Because see, when we're talking in generalizations. So when we are generalizing, you have the majority and you have the minority. What I find is that people like to focus on the minority when the topic of discussion is about the majority. When you bring in the minority, you disrupt the flow. The minority doesn't matter because the minority doesn't make the rule. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's the same. What is the majority of men?
The majority of men who are doctors go to medical school. However, there are some people performing doctor procedures, like those botch plastic surgeons, the ones that never got a license, the ones that never got a degree. They just had a great idea. Let me use some cement and blow this heifer's behind up like a tire. Right? Those are the outliers. But it's like in these conversations I would hear, but not all doctors go to med school, and it doesn't matter because there are some people who are practicing medicine and they don't go to school. So you can't talk about all men that are licensed professional doctors when we have other men who are doctors. They're just are not licensed. I get your analogy. Disingenuous.
I get your analogy, but I'm confused because what guy are you talking about speaks for all men of majority? What is the majority that you're talking about? Are you talking about
when we are talking about men who want a certain type of woman?
Okay.
It's all those men that want that certain type of woman.
That's so we're on the same. So
because you are saying that usually, we can't say all men. We can't say.
Okay. What I'm saying is the guy that's speaking for all men, they're speaking for themselves. That's all.
Why can't they speak for all men? Because if they're speaking about a category, everyone in that category are like the same. So those are the all men being referred to. We're not talking about the virgin men. Okay, we're not talking about them. But you can say, but not all men even have sex. So why would they even talk about marriage? We're not talking about those men. You're bringing up men that are in the swingers club who think differently. That's like bringing in men who are into polyamorous relationship in a monogamous discussion. It just doesn't fit the context of the talk. Yeah, you're saying that man cannot speak for all men. Did you not say that? That man we heard.
Yes, that's what you're picking in. Okay. You're picking and choosing and saying that's the majority. One man can't speak. He's speaking for the majority and the people who have the same belief as him. So if the swingers speak on swingers, he's speaking of the majority of the man who's in the swing. It's the same. You're picking and choosing minority situations because one man can't speak for all the men in the world. You have to.
No one is absolute. Nothing is absolute.
That's all I'm saying. That's what I was.
But why do we even have to bring that? I didn't even think we would have to mention that.
I was saying
not everything, like not all. Of course, not all.
Took what I was saying out of you. There was a reason why I was saying it. So the reason why I was saying it is where there's a disconnect, because the context of why I was saying what I was saying originally is the guys that don't want a woman to be a certain way. You don't have the women with the past aren't the women that you're going for. So why are you speaking about the women? The past matters to men. For the guys, in regards to the women with the past, like you don't care about the women without a past. You're talking to the women with past about their past mattering. So I'm saying, for me as a guy, why does a guy care about a woman who had a past versus only talking to the woman without a past? That's all.
Because he can't talk about all things in one damn short. That was 3 shorts that he made, 3 clips. I had to put them together and make them one. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why is such an issue. This thing about what we can talk about and how long we should talk about it and to who we should talk about it. Go ahead. Say it. My bad.
I think it's one of those. I'm not speaking like how I think you're almost like taking what people be saying normally and almost like.
First of all, I can't even get a full statement out without being cut off to even know what I'm fully saying every time. Go ahead. Go.
You're speaking, okay, because the talking points that you're making about what I was saying, you're taking them out of context. All I was saying is, why are guys caring about the
I'm trying to explain that to you, but you keep cutting me off and correcting me where I don't need correction. I heard everything you said. Why would a man, I even repeated it to you. Why would a man who don't care to deal with women who has bad past or who has a past talking about women with bad pasts? Why is he not talking about the woman without the past, since that's his preference? Why is he projecting his ideas about the woman who has past when he could talk about what he prefers, which is still a projection, which is the woman without the past? Did I not get that clear? I had it clear from the beginning, but you wouldn't know that because every time I try to explain, you keep cutting me off and I just let you go. And you just say the same thing that lets me know I know what you're saying, but you don't even know what I'm saying. Go.
No, I was going to say, you got it. No, I wasn't going to cut you off. I was going to say, you got it. That's on me. I was cutting you off because I didn't let you finish. So you got it. The floor is all. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just, because what you were answering wasn't what I was saying.
How would you know that when you didn't hear the whole answer?
Because you were making it about you're tired of guys saying, but what I was saying wasn't speaking on what guys are saying. I was just simply speaking on the fact that it doesn't make sense for me why guys are doing that, and then they're speaking for all men as if you can only speak for you.
I don't recall him saying all men. Let me hear him clearly.
No, men. When they say men, they're speaking.
But it's men. It's like saying women like flowers. I don't like flowers.
But so you're speaking for women as a whole when you say women like flowers. No,
but it doesn't. But I'm not going to say, oh my God, how are you going to just assume that women like? As a general rule, women like flowers. Most women like flowers. Am I gonna I'm just so confused as to why someone cannot say women like flowers, because not all women like flowers.
That's no, where it's the same thing. We're saying the same. They're speaking on them. When you say men, you're speaking on men. No, you're speaking on specific men, a certain kind. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not all. You're not saying all men. When men care
We're
about
just saying, first of all, I'm not saying anything. I'm just talking about what the man said in the damn video. Let's get that straight. All right? Because I have my own ideas and nobody's going to like it. All right? So, with that being said, he is saying, and it makes sense, he said, men care about a woman's past and women care about a man's future. She wants to know what she's getting into. He wants to know who the hell he's getting. So it's a thing of opposition. And like we are concerned with opposite things. A man doesn't care about a woman's future. Women don't care about a man's past. If we did, we wouldn't have the same baby daddies. If we cared about a man's past, we wouldn't want somebody who is confident. Where does confidence come from? Men having sex. The more chances the more times a woman says yes, he gets a boost of confidence. Women, we love confident men. Women want men who are sexually experienced. We don't want to teach men. Now, I get it, not all women, especially the LGBTQ people, I get it. They don't want it. Should I mention the other people too, just to be safe in my statement? It's real simple. Women and men care about different things when it comes to relationship. How else are we supposed to complement each other? If we all came the same, we're not complementing each other. We don't even approach relationships the same. We don't process information the same. So if women need to know something, it's just information. I didn't take it as a woman. I didn't take it as he was imposing anything. I don't think anybody can impose anything on me. I've taken the information, I eat the meat and spit out the bones. I don't expect everyone to talk about things that only interest me, and if not, then something's wrong with them. I'm not saying that that's what you're saying. But this idea that if I don't want a crackhead, I have no right to speak about a crackhead. Like, it makes no sense for me to speak about crackheads when I am not interested in being with the crackhead. That makes no sense. Because why? I can have maybe not direct experience with the drug, but I could have had a husband who was a crackhead. That's why you don't want to mess with a family member who's a crackhead. And I seen the things that they did. So am I not supposed to give that information, knowing that my situation is not the only situation, that there are other a whole lot of other people that may be experiencing it and just may not know? Do I got to survey the whole country to give information based on what I know without seemingly projecting? I don't understand your confusion. And I think that's where I'm confused. I get he doesn't want that, but why does it not make sense for him to talk about it? He should just, what?
No, I don't. I think it makes sense for him to talk about it. Where I was coming from is, it's more so speaking on men. Like, it's one of those things where it's like the Steve Harvey thing, where it's like, act like a lady, think like a man, but you're not thinking like a man. You're thinking like how Steve Harvey thinks. Steve Harvey doesn't set the standard for how men think. So I think it's one of those things where guys get on these platforms on social media and whatnot and tell women how men think, when it's like, you're speaking for how you think and the group of people that you know. That's not the majority of the men. But it's one of those things where it's like when a guy speaks about how men thinks, it's like, oh, all men thinks like this. Men care about a woman's past. No, the guys who care about a woman's past, he's speaking for those guys. There's also guys who don't care about a woman's past. So it's one of those things where it's always two sides to it. So when he's speaking on it, by all means, he can do it. I'm not making him wrong for it. When he's speaking when he says men, he's not talking about just himself. He's talking about men, other people. All I'm saying is you can only speak for yourself. That's all I'm saying. That was it. That was all I was saying. It don't make sense to me.
So if, let's say, if he's married, it would make sense for him to talk about women without a past because he's married. I mean, like, I don't, let's move on. That,
Yeah, you lost.
Let's just agree that, and this is where I do agree with you, right? If you don't got a dog in the fight, why the hell do you care? Right. So
that's literally all. That's where, because
I get it, but
it be going back and forth, and it's like I'm telling women now that their past matters, but there are some women.
But my mom told me that, so I don't even understand. That's why I'm like, maybe that's why I am not understanding your confusion. My mom, as a little girl, she told me that. She taught me that. She taught my sisters that.
That your past matters to me?
Yes. Because it's called consequences. Right? I can't expect to want something and move in opposition of it and still get it. You understand what I'm saying? So I learned that from my mom from when I was a teenager. Maybe it's a Caribbean thing. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. But Shaki says, I'm curious to know what's her past. Why? You're trying to date me? Like, why? I'm married. Why do you care about my past? There's nothing that I've done in my past ever that can harm you, embarrass you, disappoint you. It has nothing. So I'm thinking that your comment is that you're trying to be sly, but it's cute.
She also asked, what's the question? I know she asked a question.
There was no question. Oh,
it was.
The one I took off. Hold on. Let me take my glass. No. Okay, what about a guy's past? Oh, I addressed that. Yeah, I think that's the one that I addressed when I said women look about a guy towards his future. Because if a woman cared about a guy's past, you wouldn't have one guy with like 4 baby mamas. You understand what I'm saying? Because that woman be like, no, I'm not trying to be number 4. No, I'm not trying to be number 3. You know, he has a past record of being a deadbeat dad. He has a past record of being a cheater. He has a past record of being a liar. We get with men knowing these things about men, and we still want to get with them too. Because we're different. We're special. We could be the one that he changes for. We're going to change him. So the man's past, it doesn't matter. We are more concerned of where he's going because we're looking towards our future. We're not looking at our past.
And I think that's the biggest disconnect, especially just the relationship dynamic with women worrying about a guy's future and men worrying about a past. It's one of those things where you're just not being present because in reality, the past already happened and the future nobody actually knows. So it's like most of the time, and especially in the relationship space, the woman's success rate in choosing a person, a partner to live life with and to be happy and a healthy, it's 0%. You haven't had a successful relationship yet, but yet people think they know what it takes to be in a successful relationship, and they use their own judgments. And yeah, it's interesting because it's like if you actually knew the stuff that you're saying, not you because you're married, but it's
but you in general.
Yeah, you would understand like, yeah, women care about it, but there's women who don't, and then there's women who do. But it's like, what is that person?
Wait, don't care about or do care about? What is the
man's past and the man's future, and like, because you just said there, if they did care about it, or if they did care about his past, they would see the certain characteristics, like, okay, he all these kids, I don't want that, so I'm not gonna do it. But a lot of times, again, we almost like live in this like fantasy world. I think it's like a fantasy when it's like future, where it's like, oh, I can change him, or oh, he'll change for me, or oh, I can make him differently, or I can. And it's just like you're not actually seeing that person for where they're at right now because you're focusing on the future that's not even here yet.
So are you saying? I thought that was what you were saying. I don't think it is though.
Ask her.
It sounded like. Let me say it like this. It sounded like I heard you say that woman really can't care about her future. I care about his future because the decisions that she's made in the past with the men that she's been with already showed her he had no future.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And yet she still got with him.
Yes.
So the idea that women look towards the man's future where it's vice versa with the man, you see that as an illusion. Like it's not true because if she did, then she wouldn't.
Yes, and she would be very successful. She'd be in a happy, healthy, successful marriage right now if that's what she wanted. And that's where it's interesting because it's like.
So where does the woman wanting the man to have all of these assets, not his character, not his traits, right? But things in terms of material things, right? It's, because she's not looking at it from his future. She's in it for her future, which is why.
Yes.
I'm trying to make sense of it. Hold on. I don't think we care about the future as much as we care about the present.
That's
because
all we care.
It's the present moment that we have these feelings that doesn't allow us to feel safe. So instead of looking to the future, we are in the present now because we're thinking about things in the past. So women are more worried about their past more than men are worried about their past. Would you say that's true or not?
I'm more worried about their past. And yeah, I always think that. Yeah, 100%, especially if she's judging her. Because you got to think about it. A lot of the times, like you said, the one thing that I was like, I love what you said about you get into a relationship with the person that you settle in you know what I'm talking about. But it's the same thing where it's one of those things where the women who wants to be with a certain type of guy, but understands the certain type of guy that she wouldn't want to be with, don't want her to have a past. But it's almost like she wants him to almost like accept my past and be with me because this is what I want. And that's what our future going. And it's just like, it don't work. It don't work that way. So then she settles and gets with somebody.
We don't make sense, women. We don't make, just hear me out because I'm really, we confuse me, okay?
Thanks.
And I'm saying that because, all right, I said, boom, the woman is more concerned about her past than the man. That's why she doesn't move forward with men because she doesn't want what happened in the past to happen again in the present, where she will be regretful in the future, like, damn, I should have seen this coming again. This happened before and red flag, blah, blah, blah. Right? However, we want our past to be ignored by the man, yet we can't ignore the same past.
Yes.
We want the men to ignore our past and accept us as we are, but yet we are moving through life not accepting our own past as just being the past, which is why it's so hard for us to trust in relationships.
Yeah.
We never got over the past.
Yeah, you psychologically stuck. That's where the big T word comes in, because the T word keeps you psychologically stuck. So now you're projecting into the future according to your past experience. That's why when people are like, I fear the unknown, I'm like, you don't fear the unknown because what is there to
be afraid of? It's just not
so
known.
you have to project into the past, the unknown, something to be scared of to make you fear the unknown. It's just like we're doing this to ourselves, but.
So it sounds like the answer to the question, does a woman's past outweigh the man's past? I would have to say yes.
Does a woman's past outweigh? Yeah, I can see it.
Only because of what I just discovered. She, like, her past matters to her too. A man's past don't matter. I don't know, but the men that I've come in contact with, they don't speak much on their past in terms of sucky relationships as much as I'm hearing about the women today in the current times being sucky, right? So I don't hear men talking about, well, I had this chick, when I was in high school and then in college, and then, I don't hear that. I just hear how crappy we are today. Whereas I hear more conversations about us women in our past relationships. And I'm even, guilty of that because it gives me something to refer back to. So we as women, we have to refer back before we can move forward. I guess it's to allow us to feel safe.
Yeah, a false sense of safety. Because even with the guys, we all do it. I'm not even gonna say women do it. We all do it because the biggest thing is guys don't want to go back to how things were in the past. So it's like we're not even gonna talk about that. I just know how I feel. I'm not gonna ever put myself in position to go through that experience, whether I talk about it or not. And I think a lot of times it's one of those things where guys have been taught to almost like, don't talk like that, don't speak that way, keep that to yourself, don't. So it's like they learn to keep it in. Women are more open, they'll talk about it. Women like to blame. It's one of those things where a lot of times it never really makes sense, because when people be talking about their exes and stuff, and I'm like, you chose him, you chose her, so why are you making her when you chose? Like, what role did you have? No responsibility. It just randomly happened. You didn't have this idea of who this person was going to be. You thought it was going to be peaches and cream, and then they showed you a certain way, and you still like, no, I'm gonna still keep doing this. And then they showed you again, and you're like, no, I'm gonna still stay in this. And then to the point where they're like, okay, enough is enough, I'm done with this. Yeah, it was him, it was her, she did. And it's like, what role did you play in that? You could have been, you thought you were going to
I was bamboozled. I was hoodwinked. Oh, I just didn't know. Oh, they tricked me. Man, they didn't show me that earlier. And that just really shows that, they just don't know how to judge people in terms of character. I can tell a person very soon in the discussion just by the first couple of sentences that they say based on the words that they use. And in the situation, which it's like a whole freaking process for me that happens real quick. But it's like we are screwed. Women at large, we are screwed because I'm confused and I'm a woman. I am confused at my own gender, and I'm that gender.
It's one of those things where, and this is what I'm learning, especially like going deeper into it, a lot of women, they lack the ability to have critical thinking skills and not understanding like the idea we've been taught from baby, you Princess Charming and the Disney, like they think that's reality. When that's not like, even with women who, like, not bashing women, but women who want to have kids, it's like, have you ever had a child to even know what you want? But it's like, no, I remember ever since I was a little girl, I always told myself I wanted to be a mom. And it's just like, there's a lot more to having a kid besides just wanting to be a mom. But again, it's been programmed. We've been programmed to have this belief system that don't really belong to us, because we never took the time to really figure out, do I want to have this baby with this dude who's not going to be here and I'm going to be stuck? It's hard work, but we've never been taught to think like that. So we've been the American dream, the white picket fence, the dog, the living happily ever after. And a lot of people don't realize that's a story. It's not the reality of the real world. But deep down inside, that story is what they want to experience because of what they told themselves as a little girl.
So I'm confused. What's wrong with the husband, the children, the house that has a fence, and a dog? I don't understand why is that so far-fetched when it's attainable.
Nothing's wrong with it, but nobody ever taught what characteristics and qualities do you look for to be even able to attain it. So now you think any guy that's your boyfriend, what makes this guy qualified to do those things? Y'all just have this idea. I just know I just want to get to the top.
We have the vision. Men need to come with the plan. And that's the thing, because plans are more practical oriented, right? You have to actually put in effort. You have to carry the plans out. At first you got to develop the plan, and then you got to work on the plan.
100%.
And then you got to do more stuff with the planning. And well, we don't need to plan. You guys are so good at it. Y'all don't need our help. I mean, we can't even decide what the hell we want to eat. You really want us in your plan? No, you want to not be with us yet to carry out the plan. See, that's why God made Adam first. Because if he would have made Eve, he knew Eve would have tried to tell him how to make Adam. So God made Adam first, right? So he kept a peace of mind.
And I think that's where it's so much, like, if you start to understand like the history of it, and people not understanding like a lot of this stuff, like especially when it comes to women, like they don't really have, like, if you really took the time to sit, what exactly do you want and why do you want that? And most, like a lot of the women that I ask, like, why do you want this? Why do you want to get married? Not saying there's anything wrong, but why? Why do you want? They don't know. They just,
it's something I've always wanted to do. It's something I've always wanted to do. Because I want to be married. I want to be somebody's wife. What she's saying is, I want a wedding, I want a party, and I want a vacation.
Yes, all the great stuff that they showed you about it, but they never talk about the conflict resolution. They never talk about the characteristics that you need to look for in the guy to even know. They never talked about your relationship to yourself. They never talked about the trauma. You don't know this person, but yet you're trying to have a kid with them. You want to have a baby, but we've been taught, because of everybody, girlfriend and boyfriend. That's high school. We couldn't get married in high, so we tried to emulate our parents by boyfriend. That's why it's called boyfriend and girlfriend. But now we're adults and we're still looking through the lens of relationships, like how we did in high school. People are going to do what they're going to do no matter what, because they're their own individual person. But we still think, well, I want a guy who's only going to be into me and only me. I get it. By all means, that sounds amazing, but you're not even into you and only you. You don't even want to be with you. So even if a guy was into you and only you, you wouldn't be able to receive that, because it's going to go against you actually feeling love. People just want to feel love, but most people don't love themselves to even understand how to receive the love that they want, because they have to give it to themselves, but they don't want to give it to themselves, so they jump into relationships. But what happens is, the person you choose to be in a romantic relationship with is just the external manifestation of how you internally feel about yourself. Energetically, they will 100% reflect you back to you, because you have to be on that frequency to attract that person into your life.
To begin with. Yeah. Twan, what do you got on this?
Nothing.
What did he say?
Nothing.
All right.
Hey, I love y'all. Y'all's funny. But that'd be the thing. It's wait. Shay was saying a bunch of stuff though. I've been trying to respond. Yeah, because we have heavier. I think that's the man. The women.
I have no clue what you're responding to. You ready?
No, Shay, she's saying we move heavily out of emotions. Women don't. Reacting from how you feel is not moving from the we all are react. This thing where it's like men are more logical, women are more emotional. We're all energetic beings. Logic is one's ability to think. Moving from emotion, heavy out, like it's not reacting from how you feel does not make you emotional. That just makes you react.
Yeah, there's a difference, and I don't think that there's a high level of awareness of the differentiating of emotions and feelings. Emotions are psychological, feelings are sensational. Women are moving more through their feelings. It's not about their emotion. They're not moving because they're sad. That's an emotion. They're not moving because they are happy. That's an emotion. They are not moving because they're disappointed. We're not choosing based on those things. We are moving based on comfort and fear. Those are feelings. It's like, do I feel shaky inside and blah? That's anxiety. That's anxiousness. That's nervousness. That's uncertainty. Those aren't emotions. Those are sensations, right? Anxious is a sensation. Anxiety, it's emotion.
Yeah, I just say emotion is the label you place on a bodily sensation. That's it.
But we do, as females, as women, we do process the world through our feelings.
But we all do. That's
No.
naturally.
So, well, I mean, I get your point. I know it to be true. Let me just say it like this. I know it to be, and it just makes absolute logical sense to me. We are yin and yang. We are not the same. So what goes for one does not go for the other, but in fact, it's its complete opposite. That's what makes things complementary. So if that is the case, we both cannot be processing through logic and emotions simultaneously at the same time. We just don't do that. Men think things through. Men must think things through. If men did not think things through, you would have more men dead and more men in prison. They would have to think about, if I punch this mofo in the mouth right now, my God, I'm going to end up in jail and he may end up in the grave. He thinks about it. Women, we don't think about it. We react and then we justify it because we feel justified. We feel we were in our right to react. Those are the men that move through their feelings and are overly emotional. Those are the mofos behind bars.
Yeah,
those
so
are the ones that cannot contain they cannot regulate their own emotional state to be where they can get into the gap and think, if I do this, it's not going to end up well. And most men are very good at avoiding, well, jail time.
100%. I think it's just to me, that's just a person's level of awareness. I think a lot of times guys have been programmed to be more aware, because I think the biggest differentiator, especially when I be talking to my male clients and the female clients, is understanding the way women go through life is not the same that men go through life. So it's understanding a lot of women actually feel unsafe in today's, like, going outside is not, it's not as safe as people think for women, especially when women are getting hit on, and women is, so I think women are more, they're moving through more of a place of fear when it comes through how they move throughout the world, and guys are more like, I'm not walking outside scared of a guy to try to talk to me. I'm just speaking on my experience. But
why do you think that women are afraid of men?
Not afraid of men. It's just the society that we live in, just life. I think.
Why do you think women feel unsafe around?
Because
men?
they've been programmed that they need men to lead them, to protect them, to provide for them. They need men to do that.
If we felt unsafe, do you think we would be dressing as the way that we do at large? Because today there's no modesty in our women. Very little modesty. Well, I mean, I can look in my neighborhood and see the lack of modesty in the way we women dress. So it just doesn't, it's either they're stupid. Okay, it's stupid. They're going to be real dumb. They got to be dumb to dress provocatively, knowing that they are doing it to get the attention, and they're doing it to get sexual attention. Okay, they're not looking to dress like Sister Mary and be like, oh, God, girl, you got that nice, beautiful hat on today. She's like, girl, thank you. No, she's dressing for sexual attention. So she's going to dress for sexual attention, get the sexual attention, and then feel unsafe when she gets the sexual attention.
Yeah, I think that the disconnect there is to say she's doing it for the sexual attention.
It is. I'm a woman. I know. Let me tell you something. What else? What else? Why would a woman have her ass cheek? Have her ass cheek out of cut like them Daisy Duke shorts? Remember them Daisy Duke shorts? But now we got the BBLs. All right, so you got the BBLs and the Daisy Duke shorts. What did you think that she's looking for? A Bible study class? Are you thinking she's looking for a deep conversation, knowing that men are sexually aroused easily? She knows this. If a man doesn't have to love you to become sexually aroused, he just have to see something he likes, and that happens. So she's gonna wear shorts that have her ass cheek hanging out. She's gonna have a shirt on with her boobs popping over the top. And you're trying to convince me she's not looking for sexual attention? What's she looking
not
for?
So it's I think where it's not sexual, it's attention. This is what they're looking for, attention. But a lot of times, because it's one of those things for me where Guys, I know a lot of the guys that I know, they tell women they don't like the makeup, they don't like the weave, they don't like this, they don't like.
For
But
their
women's
woman,
no,
right?
for their woman, just.
Mm-hmm.
But women still do it, so it's not a matter of the woman doing it for the guy's attention. Sometimes women do it because women compliment women. Like,
I'm about to say now, the makeup and the hair and the nails are for other women.
but what she puts on her body is for
But
men.
what she puts on her body is for the man.
Yeah. So for me, it's what she put on her body is for herself. Because if a woman don't
So
feel,
she, right. I mean, no one does anything without a reason.
yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, she's doing this for the sexual male's attention. I think that's where the
Which is
miss.
for herself, because it allow her to feel better about herself.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that that's not her motive.
I don't. Again, I can't speak for. I don't be thinking that'd be their motive is to get hit on by. Because I know women who don't even be dressing nice and they still get hit on. They still get dudes trying to talk. They still have to tell.
That's a different caliber woman. We're not even talking about her.
Yeah. No,
okay?
so it's
because I mean that woman who is not looking for sexual attention and still getting male attention. Male attention and sexual attention are two different things. All right, to get that man's attention, she can be in sweatshirts and t-shirts. I mean, because men really do love women looking natural, because at least he knows what she's gonna wake up looking like. You know, he wants to know what she looks like without makeup, without that wig. Like, let me see who I'm getting. It's like peekaboo, I don't see you. You know what I mean? So that's why women get the attention from men when she's dressed down, because that attention is more authentic. He really wants to get to know her because she has a sweatpants, sweatshirt. She's just regular. She's not all dolled up to go to Walmart. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. I would just assume that a man would not be too readily inclined to be in a relationship with that kind of woman, not because of her provocativeness, but she's gonna take too long to get ready.
That's funny.
And men don't like waiting.
And men don't know how to choose too. I realize that too. Men don't know how to choose these women. They don't know how to choose the certain characteristics and qualities of a mate, and that's why they in the same category with these women who don't know how to choose. They don't trust themselves. They don't trust their ability to choose. And I think, like Shay said, I think it's more so lustful, because there could be a woman, she could be all natural, but if she has big breasts or if she's thick, it's like then guys gonna it's all sexual, it's all lusting type of thing. So I think it's one.
So you wouldn't think that there's like, do you have defining lines for anything, Najee? It just seems like, and there's no shade to you. I think it's pretty cool, because I've never met anybody like you, so I really believe that you're definitely one of a kind, right? And but it's like there's no lines. Everything is just.
It's not one size fits all with me, and I think
there's not a one size fit all, but it's like this is white. Right? This is the color white. And you're like, well, that's really not white. That's more like eggshell white, because white will look white, and that don't look as white as that white, but it's still white, but it's eggshell white. It's like, dude, it's freaking white. No, it's white and eggshell white. And I think that you're projecting you're projecting your bad eyeglasses prescription. Maybe you need to get your prescription checked. Because the more I look at it, it looks more like gray. Now I'm like, well, damn. You might have me convinced.
Well, can you give me that example in what we were saying? Because for me, it's just I don't know. I don't think people get out in the real world. So for me, I'm just more so. I understand. Not saying you. I think a lot of the times these conversations are social media conversations. People aren't actually like out engaging with folks to understand this stuff. And I don't think they're engaging with folks at that level. I don't think they're having the same type of conversation offline with people out in the street the way that they're having it in, like, abundantly on these platforms. And I'm also noticing the echo chamber is a real
damn place. It's a real thing. That echo chamber, it's big.
Regurgitating?
Yeah.
Yeah, heck.
And God forbid you ask them a question. Holy crap, you'll get cussed out.
Yeah, because everybody have these preconceived talking
Talking points.
It's almost like, bruh, what does that mean? It's like, oh, what?
Oh, you stupid. What do you mean? Oh, you should know. If you don't know, then you're not what? You're not on my level to have this conversation.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It's like, I'm asking so you can help me understand. But the thing is, people don't want us. I'm just learning, and I did this at one point. So when I see other people doing it, it's like I get it. Where people want to come off a certain way on social media, and they're not being that same way in real life, and that's where you start to ask them, like, what does that mean? Where do you get that from? How do you? And it's like, well, you just not quite, because it's like, if we're having a conversation and you actually knew what the word mean, you wouldn't try to belittle me or make me look any way if we were talking face to face. But now you got an audience of 15, 20 people, and they're coming to you because they think you know more than what you actually do know. So instead of just showing like, yeah, I never thought about it. What does that mean? Let me look it up. It's one of those, well, you just slow, you just don't. And it's just like, you don't have to be all that. But again, I get it.
And my response is, my usual response to that is, you don't know either. All right, so when I find out, I'm gonna come back and tell you.
100%.
That's it. You don't know either, because you were quick to tell me everything else that you knew.
100%.
All the whole time, I ain't asked you anything about what you knew. And the one time I ask you about something that you say you know, now you don't want to tell me, acting like you don't know.
100%.
You know, so, but I think that it's so much easier to argue what you don't know online than to argue what you don't know offline.
Yes.
I really think that, because online you got people just because they like you. Just because they like you will be fire signs, 100s, hearts. Get them. That's right, Boost. Talk your stuff. You got the little, that little
keyboard warriors
emoji with the speak thingamajiggy. And it's like these people are encouraged to stay not smart.
Yeah, great. That remind me. That's a Najee answer. Yes, 100%. Because it's ignorance.
Stupid didn't fit. Dumb didn't fit. Foolish didn't fit.
Ignorance they're just ignorant. Lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, lack of.
But ignorance could also mean that I'm ignoring the information too. They just appear, which would be to me not smart. So I just went with not smart.
Not smart works too. And that's one of those things though. It's just interesting. I'm learning. I'm like, I'll be sitting back watching, like, when the Bible say be in this world but not of this world. Yeah, I think I'm on planet. I don't know what planet I came from, but I'm still there, because this world is like, bro, the math don't be mathing. It don't make sense. People are stressing out. People not liking where they're at, but they're still doing stuff to keep them in the same position. But the thing is, I was at that position, at that place at one point in my life. So I get it.
I ain't never been there. I was born this smart. I didn't take my first test, baby. I took my first state exam. That's how smart I was.
Hey, I get it. It took me a minute to get to here, but I just had to learn, like, okay, if I keep doing this and I keep getting these same results, at one point, the common denominator is me. So let me figure out, why am I making these decisions? Why am I desiring these things? Why do I want these things? Why did I choose this girl over this girl? What characteristics? Why? People don't ask themselves why. Because once you start to go down the rabbit hole, you'll realize a lot of the stuff that we've been taught to believe in or programmed to believe in, we don't actually believe in it.
90% of our beliefs are not ours. They're not
Yes,
ours.
it don't belong. That's what the insecurity thing. When I tell women insecurity, you're only insecure because of somebody else's belief. That's not yours. Like
Yeah.
that's all. That's somebody projecting on you. Got a big head. Oh dang, I gotta cover my head now. I'm in look in the mirror. I don't like how my head. But it's like you're not insecure, but you never had an issue with your head until
They had an issue with your
they
head.
had an issue. Now you trying to cover up your head and cover up.
That gave you an issue with your head. So you made their issue your issue. Now y'all got issues.
And it never belonged to you. That's them projecting onto you based on them not liking how they felt about their head. Because deep down, they wish your head was their head, but it's easier to bash you and belittle you to make you feel bad, to validate, me feel better about myself. And it's just like, well, that means you're in a lot of pain. If you need to cause another person hurt to feel better, that means you're in a lot of pain.
Yeah. And the cool part is I get to walk away from you. You still stuck with you.
Still stuck in it.
You still stuck with you feeling your pain. At least when you are removed, I will be leaving you with your pain.
100%.
You know, I don't, because I can recognize it, right? And like, I'll give it right back to you and leave you with it. If I'm giving it back to you and I shut down and I shut up, just know I did a return to sender. Because if I continue to engage in an act, now I'm going to feel what you're feeling, and I don't like that feeling, and I'm going to get mad at you when it's not even your fault because you don't have authority, control, access, or none of that crap to my feelings. Now I'm going to feel stupid. Now I'm going to think I'm dumb, and now I'm going to make subliminal. Najee is not a smart guru. He's as sharp as a marble. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, it'd be funny. That's why I just be laughing. I just don't take life serious. I realize that I don't take life serious because it's not that serious to me. Like if I'm not about to die, my life's not in danger. My family's life is not in danger. Why so serious? It just don't be. But I get it. Some people are addicted to stress.
No, I beg to differ, and you're gonna agree.
Mm-hmm.
They are addicted to the chemical reaction that stress brings. It's that
100%. The familiarity or being stuck in a chaotic environment, being at war within yourself. But then that goes back to childhood trauma and how you were raised, childhood hurt. I guarantee your mom was probably that way, or I guarantee your dad was that way. So you became, it's one of those things where once I learned this, like when you go through a chaotic experience so much, your body starts to almost like turn into a pleasure thing. Like your body starts to crave it because it almost has to make peace with that environment.
Yeah.
And that's what people like are addicted. It's like you're trying to make we're good. Everything's fine. Everything's flowing. But you're just trying to come up with an argument to argue about the way you looked at me. I ain't like 2 days ago when you said it. It's just like what
remove your eyes. The Bible said you don't like how I look, remove your eyes. Nah, I just made that up. Please don't go into the street and say that crap and then say Trinity said it.
Yeah, the Bible
I'm saying it now. It was a joke. It was a joke.
100%. And that'd be the thing. It's just like, yo, why so? That's why even with I'm not here to judge nobody. I can't judge. Whether you have sex with 1,000,000 dudes or 1,000 dudes, as long as you clean, you good. Even the whole little brother, they use stuff out of context. That's the thing with social media. People take
like what
that they don't understand. Like the woman can't bond with the guy if she's having sex with multiple, and it's like, no, that doesn't work that way, because a lot of times
it makes it harder for the woman to bond with the more partners she has sex with. And it's not because it's a biological thing. It's because it becomes a psychological thing. I can get another one. I can get a better one. The last one was better. I'm going to go back to that one. Oh, this one is no good. And I heard about the other one, and we go try that one. So there is no bonding because there's no incentive. So the more sexual partner a woman has psychologically, it's going to be harder for her to develop a bond. Is it impossible? Well, no one thing is impossible. There's a possibility somewhere for something. Hence, anecdotal experiences, the special snowflake, and oh, but not to me type person.
100%. But that's where like it's a cycle. It's not the sex. That cycle that happened prior to the sex
That's
ever being.
physical, yeah.
Yeah, that's what people like. So it's like y'all miss. Even there was a study I was just learning where actual research where a physician actually studied this, where guys actually when they release sperm, they have 3 different versions of sperm. I didn't know this. They have the blocker sperm, the protective sperm, they have the swimmer sperm, and then they have the killer sperm. You want to know what the killer sperm is for? To find out any other sperm that's been in that woman's womb
To
and try
kill
to
it off.
destroy it so that his genes are. But we don't know about that because we don't pay attention to that. Women have the same. So there's more to the biology of human beings besides women can't bond more because it's like no, you have to go deeper into that.
And
Women.
hold on, I'm sorry to what you said
Because,
about the killer sperm.
mhm.
Of course, not everything is absolute because I saw a Maury show, right? You can judge me, it's okay. Because that means that you have to see Maury too to know that show is garbage. How would you know I'm watching a garbage show unless you
was
a
watching.
garbage show? So yeah, judge me, boo boo. But you got 3 coming back at you. So with that being said, I saw an episode on Maury, and this woman had twins, 2 different fathers.
That's definitely possible.
1 white boy, 1 black guy. I think that's what made both of the fathers question the twins being theirs. And come to find out, 1 father was the biological father of 1 twin, and the other dude was the biological father of the other twin. And I'm like, man, Father's Day at school must be interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be very. This is my dad number 1 and this dad number 2.
I don't even know how that was.
Dad 1. Oh, your dad.
That's my Uncle Daddy John.
Yeah, that's my bro. That's my
Uncle Daddy John.
Yeah, pretty much.
My brother's stepdad. My brother's dad is my stepdad. That's my stepdaddy dad. That's my daddy's stepdad. All right. So I'm just saying that you're not gonna. I saw what you did there. You almost had me.
Hey, it almost.
You almost had me because I was definitely about to think it up.
How do I? Yeah.
But I think that all jokingness aside, right? I don't think it matters so much about the people being spoken about. Personally, I don't think it matters at all. Who the avatar is. I am more really focused on behavior patterns and results. So if I find that a behavior pattern is producing a certain result, and that certain result is not one that I desire to experience for myself, then it would just be wise for me to do the better that I know, as opposed to just making excuses for it. Ladies, what I would say to you is stop giving a damn about what the men that you don't want in a woman. Like, you've already canceled him when you didn't want him. So he never rejected you. I think that women get upset when they feel a sense of rejection by the man because they are talking about a population that they're into, that they're interested in. That woman is like, oh, that's the kind of man I want. I want that high figure man and I want this and I want that. But then a high figure man says, no high figure man will want you. And now you're like, oh, I hate you. Die, you wretched whore. It's like you want to just shake him. But his thing is, but is that the one that you wanted? No. Did you ever meet him before? No. So then why do you have you ever met a high value man before? No. Do you know what to find one? No. Do you know have you ever heard that they hung out anyway? No. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're mad at a man that you've never met, who has probably never seen you, unless you've been on his show. But you've seen him because you always watch his show. The more he talks, the angrier you get. So you decide to get mad at him because he told you that the one that you want, the one that you can't find, the one that you never met, the one that you don't even know where to meet him, the one that you don't even know where they hang out. You're mad because he told you. That man told you about a man that you ain't never, and you're mad.
100%. Because it's bringing up a sense of unworthiness, and you already feel that way to begin with, and he's just reflecting that. So now you're mad at the fact that you feel triggered, you feel unworthy, and it's like, oh, he's causing me to feel this. So it's easier to project me being angry with him than it is to look at you were already angry prior to him saying whatever he said.
Yeah. She has a bias towards certain women or judgment to hate certain women. Okay. Oh, she figured that out in 1 hour and 29 minutes about me. Certain bias towards certain women or judgment to hate certain women. Okay. I don't know what to say to that. She already made up her mind. You know what I'm saying? So, but just to let the rest of the people know, I don't have no bias. Truth be told, I don't give a damn. Okay, I don't know no woman I'm talking about. Like the woman I'm speaking about is just based on attitude, mindset, and behavior. It's not a face. So I can't say I hate this woman because of blah blah blah. Right? I know that there are exceptions to every rule, and with every rule there are exceptions. Um in terms of certain women, why do I care what other women do? It doesn't. It's kind of like what you're saying, what you were implying, Najee, or not implying, but like expressing earlier. You know, it's like I can't talk about. You know what? How about this? How about you answer this for me, sweetheart? If men cannot correct and correct women and speak on correct the behaviors of speak on the behaviors of women and correct them based on their behavior, if men can't do it, if I as a woman cannot do it, I can't speak on behaviors and stuff like that, attitudes and mindsets, then who should be able to tell the black woman those things? Would it be better if I was a white dude, a white woman, an Asian dude, an Asian woman, an Hispanic dude, an Hispanic woman, or should just black woman behavior just be above reproach? You know, I'm real interested in knowing that. I don't have a bias towards any woman, nor do I judge people, but I will judge behaviors. Behaviors are not like people. Behaviors aren't sensitive. Behaviors don't care that I'm even speaking. Behaviors don't even know I'm existing. Behaviors have no mind. Behaviors have no thought. But I'm speaking on behaviors, but yet you somehow got that I have a bias towards certain women, which I don't even know what those certain women are because I haven't rallied for any. And I have judgment and hate towards certain women. I never said I hated any woman. I think you're just making those things up.
Hey, like I tell everybody, if what a person is saying about you isn't true, then they're not talking to you. They're just talking to themselves. You're just their witness. So if it
Say
doesn't
that again,
apply,
because you sound mad low.
no, I say if what a person is saying about you isn't true, if it doesn't resonate with
Oh,
you,
yeah, no.
they're
It
not
just
talking.
reveals them.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like she has a certain bias towards certain women like me. And it seems like because she thinks that I have a certain bias towards women, that I'm judging them. And because I'm judging them, that I'm hating them. But what you just said was kind of hateful towards me. You called me judgmental and biased. That wasn't loving. That wasn't kind. That wasn't sweet. That wasn't uplifting. You know, that was more of a judgment on my character, and you have never met me. But yet here we are judging me.
See, that's why not. Yeah, I'm just a loving. All is welcome. I love everybody. I'm not here to judge nobody because you realize what I had to realize is I'm only judging you based on how I see myself.
Exactly. How it's like my outlook on the world is based on my inner world's view. So if my inner world view is shadowed over with darkness, or has a veil that prohibits me from seeing someone, in their spiritual I am self,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Then of course I'm going to look out into the world and see people accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
I also know that whatever I see in you are either things that I don't like about me, and I'm projecting that out on you, or it's something that I really need to work on myself, because the very thing I'm accusing you of is exactly what I'm doing in the moment, and I would have to check myself. So I can never judge a human being, that person, that character, without truly revealing my true self, which is everything negative I say about an individual.
100%. Now you
Yeah, you already knew that about me. Hush your
like
face.
100%, and that's where
And,
it's
and
just
let me
like,
ask you a question, Najee. You've known me for since what, 2021?
mm-hmm.
Have you ever known me to judge anyone as a person?
Nah,
Think real hard.
no, you're not. No,
I'm the most understanding person that I can explain everything. And I really
when you're
do.
not once you get on that, once you get when you be here, you be, and then once you get to Nevada, it's which one is Trinity and Nevada? There's which one?
Trinity is the I am. Nevaeh
Okay,
is me, the human.
yeah.
Trinity is that.
Oh, where? Yeah. So Nevaeh, when she,
Nevaeh, you gotta.
that's when it started coming. Yeah, that Nevaeh,
Yeah,
that
Nevaeh, yeah. Nevaeh is sarcasm. Trinity's not sarcastic.
that's how. Yeah, I'm a
That's
sarcastic.
that's how you can tell the difference, right?
Mhm.
Trinity's not sarcastic at all. Trinity is very, very kind and thoughtful and caring and stuff. But I figured everybody else get to experience themselves in
Yeah,
multitudes of
yeah,
ways. Why do I always got to be the one that is inhuman? Right?
yes,
That's so weird. It's like, oh my God, I thought you were spiritual. Having a human experience. Did you forget about the
yeah,
human experience? Hello, the human experience. Woo-hoo. You know, I wanna enjoy being petty, but I know I can only be petty with certain people. I want to enjoy being sarcastic. I like when people are sarcastic with me. I love the friendly back and forth that we three have when Twan is not upset with me. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty cool. This is the first time him being upset with me. And that's since 2021.
Well, you gotta realize he had said, and you said it too. So I knew the context. Y'all were like, Twan was like, "Hey, it's gonna be one of them days for me," and you're like, "Whoo, it's been a long day for me too." And it's just like, okay,
Oh,
I
I
already,
forgot all about that because my day was just so long and I'm a woman. I ain't thinking about no man. And I'm joking. That was today's live, right? Do women care about what men want? No, I don't care about no goddamn man.
I don't really care
Yeah.
about that. But
I don't
yeah,
care
so
nothing
I
about
get
that.
it. It's all love. I know Trinity, I love you. I know Twan love you. The love don't go nowhere when people have this misunderstanding, because it's all a
It's a
misunderstanding.
sibling thing, man. If you
Yeah.
think siblings are gonna like not like, well, I was almost beginning to think that maybe we would never, but we all have a day where a personality may brush us wrong just because we have one of those days. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But and he's entitled. He doesn't always have to be, happy and joyous and stuff like that, upbeat. Because if I give him that grace, well, then he'll show me some mercy.
Yes,
Because I'm usually doing as always tired.
100%. So it's just, yeah, it's so interesting because everybody I'll be sending this live to, and when y'all be going, they be like, "Are they married? Are they married? Are you and your co-host, the two co, they
Why
married?"
would we be married?
Because it's like a sibling. It's almost like a sibling thing, but it's
Yeah, I
like
mean, like I didn't cuss him out. That would be
no.
married. I mean, that's how I know the people that I know that are married that they argue. They're like, F you, you raggedy piece of crap. And yeah, and that's right. And guess what? Nobody wants your raggedy ass either. You don't know nothing. I mean, no, we're not married to each
No,
other.
they're not. I'll be telling like, no, they're not married. But it's just like a sibling. It's the energy, like y'all. We've known, like he know
We're
how
just
you get. You
clashing
know how,
tonight. That's what it
yeah.
is. We just have a.
He ain't had
I'm
his huggy
done. I'm
juice.
tired. I'm
You
annoyed. I'm short. You know what I'm saying? And Twan hasn't never really experienced me short. Najee, he's experienced me short.
yeah,
That's
I
why
know.
you just be like,
I'm just like, hey, it's all fun and games. I get it. I learned this is the $1 million thing. This is the $1 million thing. Once you become okay with how you feel, whenever a person is feeling some type of way, you don't be like, I don't want them feeling. I don't like it. It's just like, bro, I get it. You in it right now. By all means, I've been in it before when I was tired, aggravated, irritated. So then you say something, it's like, bro, why you? And it's just like, damn, Najee, why you so? Woosah, what's going on? Let me talk to what's going on, Najee. Am I not showing up for me? Where am I not? So I get it. Especially being tired though, for sure. Now you about to sleep good, and it's what 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock over there too.
It's 11. Oh, wait, I'm about to show my age. I'm about to get excited. I'm about to say curfew. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're funny. It's 11. Oh, I get to sleep.
Yo, I was kind of about to get really excited. Oh my God, I didn't even eat dinner yet. Real talk. I'm about to say what?
Wait, you ain't made dinner?
Like 8 minutes. I'm like,
You ain't made dinner?
I did. I just didn't eat it yet.
Oh, okay. You made it. Okay, I thought you.
I'm not like some of y'all folks who like to eat. I just threw paper at you and it didn't even do nothing. Go ahead, Sonia. With the J.
That's funny.
Sonia with the J. But I'm really glad that it's almost 9 o'clock. I mean, 11 o'clock.
11.
I got real happy. Tuan, do you have any exiting words for our people?
Nope.
Can't find one word?
Ain't got nothing to say. We done?
Yeah. You want to do your outro?
He said no. You don't got nothing to say.
Oh, I thought he.
Oh, you must have
done?
misunderstood me. Okay.
Are we done?
Yeah, we finished. You want to do your outro or?
Nah, I'm good. I'll get at
you
y'all
are-
later.
You have a good night. I love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in and staying on. You stayed on, so you're a real one for that. So appreciate
Same
it.
here, bro.
Yep.
Good
And
night.
for those who have not done so yet, hit that thumbs up button, that like button, hit that bell, subscribe, so that you don't miss any dysfunctional, toxic people like us in the near future. We have Enforcer Twan, we have Mediator Najee, and there's just me. So I'm the one with the passwords. But no, I'm just joking. We don't have a password. I gotta find a platform so I can feel special. But with that being said, we will be back Wednesday next week at 9 p.m. So you make sure to return back to the spot. And in the meantime, in between time, what should they do, Najee?
Stay spiritually redefined and magically delicious and spiritually redefined. And make sure y'all follow me on IG _Najee27, Healing with Najee on all the other platforms. I love y'all. I appreciate everybody who commented and tuned in, even the folks that was texting me. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. Thank you.
Also, before I go, I want to also say, if you want to reach Twan, you can reach him at cut_47 or cut_43 on both. On Instagram, and you can find him on Facebook at Anton Downing. You can find me right here. You can find me right here. You can find me on IG at n._d._Trinity.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it there next time because I never remember my name.
That's
I'm
what I
horrible.
did. But
All right, so
appreciate it. Talk to you later.
it's been nothing but love, love, love. Thank you all for
100%.
joining, and thank you for being active in the comment section. I love the fact that Shocky Lightfoot, you had some really good comments. So I really want to thank you and let you know that I do appreciate your engagement. It kind of gave Najee something to do since he gets paid to do nothing anyway. So thank you for making my boy work for his hundreds and thousands of dollars that I pay him every week. So with that being said, later.
Later.